Next page.
So to give you an example of how our customers use a platform like this, let's take a look at a case with one of our existing customers, the Galleria Mall in White Plains, New York. They had a concern related to their water consumption, as you can see from the graphic on the bottom right. These are two water meters where one of the meters shows much more water usage compared to the other meter. First thing they did was check to see if there was a water leak somewhere in the system, which was not the case. We began to gather this historical data and found that there wasn't just a disparity between these two water meters, but we also found that Galleria was consuming much more water when compared to other similar sized malls across the United States. What we eventually found was that there was a problem with one of the tenants in the food court was drastically overusing water. They were able to intervene, ultimately get the tenant to reduce their water usage to the point where it brought the consumption down to normal levels. This very basic example was able to save Galleria Mall $117,000 per year in water costs, while only costing them $1,000 per month. Terrific savings for a very simple application. Galleria Mall is a very happy customer, and we expect to install energy management sensors in this single mall as well as the others that they own.
Got it. 好，那我们现在来个案例分享。他给出了一个他们现在的一个现有客户，叫 Galleria Mall 啊，是在纽约这里的一个购物中心。然后他们用户这个公司呢，为什么找到我们的 Iotc？ 它的诉求就是他们有2个水表，发现有一个水表走的特别的厉害啊，另一个好像就没有那么厉害。那就用水过多了，那原因是什么？能不能帮我找出来？那首先肯定看一下有没有漏水，对不对？水表有没有坏啊？这些都排除了。那为什么会一个那个 shopping mall 里面2个水表会出现那么大啊？是不是有些商户还怎么样啊？这个都是一个问题啊。这就是物联网可以给到的一个解决方案。那 Iotc 呢，也就很快的发现说，不只是你们自己相比啊，感觉用水厉害，其实它跟美国其他类似规模的同比的一个购物中心去比，都是用水量大得多得多。然后其实是因为他们租给了一个商户嘛，然后那个做食堂的商户他那个有点浪费水。那么浪费水怎么样子可以去帮这个租户去节水啊，然后怎么样去控制水，这就是我们 Iotc 可以做的事情。他们一共投入了大概每个月就投了1000来块钱吧，一年也就投了12000。那帮他们后来节水，一年节了大概$17000啊。那你可以看到它的那个投资回报比率是相当高的。这只是一个小小的案例。那这家公司当然是很开心，也希望能够把这样的一个节水的一个能源管理叫啥传感器吧，用到所有自己所管辖的那个购物中心里面。所以我们的物联网的强大在于它可以帮助公司特别是厂或者是像这样有大规模的购物中心这些楼宇管理当中节电节水这方面，包括在农业你比如说喷洒农药这块都可以用到物联网。那在物联网物跟物之间去连接的这个网络，就是我们 Iotc 提供的这个网So next page.
So let's discuss a bit about this market opportunity. As I mentioned before, this type of connectivity falls within a segment called Low Power Wide Area Network, LPWAN. You can see from this graphic on the top here that this is a fairly nascent market opportunity now at just around 1.8 billion globally at the end of 2018, but growing very quickly over the coming years to a size of roughly $65 billion by 2025. This extraordinary growth is due to the fact that there is significant demand for this type of connectivity for the next generation of the internet, not just over the next few years, but for many decades. One thing worth pointing out is this first bullet here, and this is what gets us very excited, is that the fastest growing segment of this market is the smart building market, growing at a compound annual growth rate of over 65%. Iota Communications is at the center of these two drivers as both a leading low power wide area network provider, as well as a provider of smart building applications. The second item is this graphic here on the bottom that's meant to provide you with some context on the size of the market. What this shows is that it is expected that by 2025, connections to the internet will be about equal between low power wide area network and cellular connections. So imagine just how many cell phones there are across the world and other things that are connected to the internet by cellular connectivity. By 2025, the low power wide area network segment will equal that number of connections. This is truly a huge market opportunity, and I believe that Iota Communications is positioned to be a leader here in the United States.
OK， 好，我们刚才一直在介绍低功耗广域网络 LPWAN， 那这个东西它是类似于把它做一个类比，我们现在每个人都有手机。用手机如果没有 WiFi， 用手机如果没有蜂窝网络，这个手机其实也没啥用，对吧？现在打游戏也得要联机打电话、微信那个看 YouTube 什么的，所以这个网非常重要。那么我们现在做的 Iotc 服务的不是个人，是公司。我刚才有说是商业楼宇是工业的一些企业，他们希望物跟物之间对于商业来说就是楼宇跟楼宇之间，对于工业来说企业公司来说就是机器跟机器之间用这个网来更好的管理，达到能效提高能耗低然后它的生产力提高达到更好的一个规模经济的这样一个效应。那么智能建筑这一块大家可以看到用这个网络的 LPWAN 的市场，它的增长大概是年复合增长65%。2018年的时候这个市场需要用到 LPWAN 这个市场大概是19个亿，那么预估到2025年这个市场达到650个亿。增长原因很简单，就是越来越多的楼宇越来越多的工业企业对于这个网有要求了，他们不希望在人工的去做一些事情，而是希望说能够赋能给他有智慧，对不对？那么就需要用到 LPWAN 大家可以看一下这一块。2018年这些颜色偏深的都是蜂窝网络3G、4G 和5G， 到预估2025年曾跟我们息息相关的每个人手机需要用到的网络和越来越多的楼宇越来越多的工业企业需要用的网络，其实是可以说是类似了也就是说楼宇也好，企业也好，你们把它想象成一个个人的话，他们也越来越需要用到网，他们也需要变得更有智慧更好的去服务于我们的企业，服务于我们每个人让每个城市也用到。城市把它想做一个人的话，城市也要有网络，对不对？这个网络不只是我们现在用的简单的家里的 WiFi 我耳机上用的蓝牙，我们走出去用的蜂窝，不是。工业企业跟楼宇之间用的网很特别叫低功耗广域网。OK, next page.
So now turning to our sales and marketing activities. We sell through a subscription-based model based on the size of a building at a rate of about 1.25 cents per square foot. We began our digital marketing activities a little over a year ago with virtually no traffic coming to our website. We publish blogs with educational content for our addressable market, and we've really seen some great success. Our pipeline has grown to over 3 times our projected revenue for the next 12 months. We have 25,000 visitors per month to our website, with 20,000 of them coming through organic search, a #1 Google ranking for 17 key search terms, such as energy cost per square foot, and 10 to 12 new marketing leads per day. Our sales are all handled directly, and we plan to expand into partnerships beginning next year.
这里说的是他们的销售跟市场亮点啊，那他们这个模式也很简单，就是你付费我服务吧，对吧？而且他们这一付费都是很 regular，时间也得挺长的，利润各方面都很可观。那么他们现在通过说一下他们这个价格，大概是每平方英尺就收人家1.25美分，然后这个英尺啊，每平方英尺，所以他们的楼宇啊，每一个工业的一个厂房，大家可以去想一下会收多少钱。那比较一下，1年前开始他们做了一个数字营销，然后也没什么流量啊。后来呢，开始做了很多改进，针对性一些市场内容的教育性，取得了很好的一个成绩。那么在未来的12个月，他们预估自己可以是有3倍以上的利润增长。然后大概他们算了一下，每个月有25000个客户去访问呢，他们的客户一定不是我们这些终端的一个消费者，而是一个个物业管理公司的人员，一个个企业主一个个工厂的厂长会去访问，因为他们做的是B2B 的生意。那么获得了2万个自然流量的一个搜索引擎，然后在谷歌排名17个关键词中，也能够排名到第一，说明这个行业越来越多的物业管理也好，楼宇楼盘工业这些企业都已经意识到说，物联网可以帮助他们节约钱，提高那个生产力。那么他们需要用到这个网，要找 IOTC OK， 好，接下来是我们的管理团队 Next。
Our management team is experienced, knowledgeable across multiple dimensions, and most importantly, aligned with our shareholders. We strongly believe that culture underlies the direction of the business, and our people comprise that culture. As Michael Porter appropriately stated, culture eats strategy for lunch. Continuing to build out a qualified, skilled, and exceptional leadership team that augments our current team is among our highest priorities, and particularly at this stage of our development. We realize that investors in early stage companies are investing in the potential and future value of the company, and it is crucial that we have the best, the brightest, and fully aligned leadership team to take us to that next level.
OK， 一个公司它的行业对不对这很重要。如果你是在朝阳，那是booming的；如果在夕阳呢，咱们也就对吧？那这个行业非常新那我介绍，因为我为了今天的那个做翻译，我读了很多跟物联网相关的一些论文然后资料，然后看了我们 IOTC 干的活。那其实还是说到人这个管理团队到底行不行？大家可以看到他们的那个执行主席包括Terence 自己他的背景，以及下面的一个 product 的那个 manager 那些高级产品经理背景非常好，都是一些除了理工男这种工业背景非常非常强大。那可以看到他们的大学以及经历。那么他们相信一个好的团队才能把这家公司走到更好的一个美好的未来吧。他们跟股东的利益都是绑定在一起的，所以他们相信一个公司的文化一定要一致，大家都认可这个公司的文化，才能去把这件事情去做好。所以在电信技术，包括金融产品开发市场营销方面都经验很丰富跟股东一定要保持一致，这点很重要，不是我就是个打工仔拿点工资，这公司干得好不好跟我没关系的。所以所有的团队都是把自己的利益跟股东的利益绑定到一起，然后创新合作，对客户负责，让客户满意，这样的一个非常执着的一个文化。OK， next page.
So let's touch on a little bit around timing. Just to give you a high level of where we are and where we're going. Our fiscal year end is May 31st. So for this past year that ended on May 31st, 2020, this was a year of really hitting the reset button. We merged with a private company in the previous year, and there was a significant amount of financial cleanup that needed to be done, and we've essentially put all of that behind us. This fiscal year that will end this coming May is focused on fortifying that foundation and getting prepared for growth, for ultimately uplisting our shares to NASDAQ. As we expand in the next year, which is just 6 months from now, We expect to see increased revenue traction, new innovative products, and a company valuation that'll properly reflect the value of our business as well as the value of our spectrum.
OK， 这里说的是企业线啊，说一下他们的那个财务的截止年度是每年的5月31号，所以2020年5月31号就是看2019年5月31号到2020年5月31号这当中，他们干了很多活啊。这是他们未来每一年自己财务年度的一个目标啊。那么先说过去这一年啊，5月31号截止这一个财年，他们干了哪些事儿？他们并了一家私人公司，然后做了很多的清理啊，包括财务上面的一些债啊、战略的一个重置啊，然后人员啊，包括一些市场评估。那未来这是资产方面，那未来他们准备做的事情是打好基础啊，资产负债表方面。去打好基础，然后做一些应用啊。那他们的目标当然是把自己的产品更多的推向市场，能够找到更多的智能的建筑去做营销啊，去做销售，扩展他们的核心能力啊。然后当然是去纳斯达克啊，为了我们的股东。扩大智能销售智能建筑的一些销售，智慧城市的销售啊，这些啊，以及做更好的利润啊，扩大规模，一些专业关系啊 ，M&A 等等，这是他们自己设定的企业时间线。OK，
So in closing, I'd like to share with you just a couple of comparables that I think will interest you. Firstly, if you look up a company called Anterix, their stock symbol is ATEX. This company owns a spectrum portfolio that's very similar to ours, and you can get a sense of how well the market values spectrum. They're running at about a few million a year in sales, losing tens of millions, and trading at over a 500 million market value. Secondly, if you notice the debut of C3 AI a few weeks ago in their IPO, and saw how well the market reacted to an enterprise artificial intelligence companies. These are just a couple of examples that demonstrate the value of putting together valuable spectrum with analytics and AI for the enterprise. We believe that we will be included in that conversation, and I'm excited about where our business is today and our prospects in the coming months and years. I'd like to thank you again for attending, and I'm happy to answer any questions subsequent to this and look forward to that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. 他最后分享一些有趣的一些案例啊。那他找了一家跟他们一样是做频谱公司的啊，做这个智慧城市、智慧楼宇需要的网络的那个频谱这个网络的一个公司很相像。然后他看了他们年销售几百万美金，年亏损几千万美金，说明这公司一直在投入，然后去铺，市值是5个亿啊，所以他就觉得跟自己很接近。然后呢，还提到了上周的一个 AI 的一个展，然后他就觉得，他市场对跟有 AI 相关的反应都很积极啊。那他也相信 Iotc 这个行业做的是很朝阳的啊。越来越多的楼宇，越来越多城市一定会变成通过物联网变成智慧楼宇，变成智慧城市。他们又拿到了美国联邦通讯委员会 FCC 的一个无线电频谱这么一个 license， 这是他们的数字资产。作为工业物联网商业资产数字化的一个快速增长，他们觉得自己站对了跑道。那么股东经验丰富的一个团队，然后以股东为中心的这么一个管理团队，他们相信说自己未来可期。好，如果有更多的问题，欢迎大家在我们下面留言，因为我会去采集，然后收集好之后给到 Terence， 我们之后还会给他做一次interview 的采访机会。那这就是今天我给大家带来的一家公司，我再说一遍，它的 OTC 代码是 Iotc， 一家是做关于物联网服务于物联网的一家无线通信数据分析的一家公司非常有意思。然后目前的价格我看了一下，今天大概1块，也不是1块，1毛1吧。今天上周好像是1毛2，所以它的价格各方面大家 可以去关注一下，还是蛮便宜的。因为我们傲神金股的宗旨就是小股票大收益，我专门会给大家找很多比较便宜但是非常有意思的一些公司。那好，今天就到这里，谢谢大家。